Hello everybody and welcome to a look at Firefall. Thank you very much for joining us. Camouflage textures, nice for you to pop in. And this is Firefall. It very recently went into beta, almost 3-4 weeks now, about a month. Went into open beta and it has been in development since E3 2 years ago, I'd say, because I think that's when I first saw it. Basically, you are part of a you're a guy who had but you're part of a group called the Accord, who have these things called battle frames, which is this mech suit I'm wearing right here, and you are given one primary weapon and your secondary weapon, right? But you have to buy a secondary weapon from that lady over there, right? And your battle frame gives you certain abilities, which you can see along the hotbar, and you can modify it using certain equipment. So let's go into our battle frame garage. Oh, and just to mention, there are several other battle frames other than this one I'm wearing, which is the Assault. So there's the Recon, the Heavy, the Biotech, and the Scout. Each have different mobility and attack, and all have their own uses in the field. So let's jump into the garage real quick. And this is the battle frame garage. Now, what you'll have here is, on your left, you'll have your resource pool, shall we say, and then here are your items which you can equip to your battle frame. So, for example, I can go from my stock, change from my Accord assault plating, which is better than the stock, and change it to the stock, and that is because we have the right amount of mass, power, or CPU. So here you will see, like, out of so much. So with this, you would have to have enough space to equip your item. So with the Accord assault plating, I need 66 mass, 24 power, and 0 cores. So that's referencing the CPU. So meaning that if I equip this, that will change the number, meaning that there has been a shift in how much space there is left. And now, depending on how much space you have left, depends on what you can equip. And the more powerful the equipment, the more space it needs. And you can upgrade this space by collecting XP. XP is not generated in the sense of using levels. It's more of a currency for leveling up. So if you had, if I had enough resources, I could give myself another few cores, and if I'd equip more things, so I'd use up 35,000 XP and 500 crystal and 500 organic materials. So I only have 301, so I can't do that. So yeah, and that will give you more space to upgrade more things. You can also repair your items. So the items I have equipped here, if they get busted up or broken, I can repair them for a cost, obviously. So let it head out real quick. Now, those mineral materials you saw, like gas and organic, you'd have to mine them or thump them, as it is known in this world. So you would have to use your scan hammer, which I can go to from my cooldowns menu. Go up there and use it, which I will show you in just a second. But you'd use it and to find out what materials are in a certain area, and then go on to call down your thumper. So let me just show you real quick, and we will be back in just a second. What do you... Go away. Now, here's what I was mentioning earlier. I've used my scan hammer just now, so let me just give you a view of what the animation would look like such. Boom! And then you'll get this come up, and you'll get this dialog box here telling you what you can expect from thumping in this area. So let me turn on my flashlight, call down my thumper, and show you how this goes. So I'll go into my menu, call it down like so.
Did somebody say thumper?
Yep, I did. So this will bring down your thumper, which I like to watch it come in, and like so. Oh dear, I was too close. Ha! I killed myself. Oh, that's not good. That's kind of embarrassing. Alright, let's show you real quickly. Thumping. This is what it's about. You'll get your little thing come down, and you'll have this, as time goes by, that percentage will fill up, and you have to watch the integrity as these things called the Irana will attack your thumper. And if it's destroyed, you lose your entire haul, which is not necessarily a good thing. So what I'm going to do is, once you get it to 100%, you get a double resource bonus. So I can show you a bit of the combat here as well. So with the combat, you have your, as I showed you before, my primary, which is my plasma cannon, which has 2 modes of fire, that little pulse burst, which is like an AoE effect, and a 3-round burst, which is a bit more controlled. Now these can be used interchangeably, so it's just left click, right click, and those can help you in different situations. So if you have like a bunch of enemies just bundled up, you just hit up your AoE, or you can hit up your burst mode to hit them more individually. But again, this is only for the assault, but the different classes have different modes of fire, and you also get your different abilities. So I have my crater ability, which allows me to jump down and cause a massive shockwave, damaging surrounding enemies. I have my overcharge, which will give me a boost to my weapons damage. And then, come on you, where are you? Let them come. If you build it, then they will come. But yes, you have, let me show you, yep. You have overcharge, and I have this speed boost, which allows me to run real quick. I don't think if it damages, but and then you have your ability at the end on the number 4, the HKM, which is like your ultimate move, shall we say? Well, once that yellow bar underneath the items is full, I can hit 4 and use with my HKM, like a massive shockwave will be sent forth from my hand to destroy anything that's in its path, which is pretty cool when used in combat. As if you use it on human enemies, they just get blown backwards, which is always a fun thing to see. But let's just quickly show you how I can use these resources. So let me just call this thumper up real quick. Yeah.
Topping her off next time. Light loads don't pay the bills.
Right. Let's head. And with those resources, I can go into crafting. So again, we will jump over to our crafting station in just 2 seconds. Yes, here we are, back in Copacabana. We have our manufacturing terminal, also known as the molecular printer. Now here, if I just want to drop in here, you'll have your, you have your workbench station, so you can refine materials you've collected, or you could build new components. So let's build something really quickly. Let's go into consumables, and let's find something that will cost me some resources. Okay. Bundle of thermite chambers. Okay, so this will allow him to give me like almost thermal damage. So let's say fire damage. That's what it would equate to in a regular game like other games. But you'll use methane, only 5 of that, and some crystite. So to produce that. So if I hit manufacture,
Manufacturing started.
that will take 19 seconds. But there are longer builds for the more complicated items, such as your mission items, which will take more heavier resources, like as you can see 4,000 of each. It will take 6 hours to complete, so you can go away, leave the game, or continue playing the game if you wish, and you'll get this chime of this guy saying your manufacturing is done. You come back, collect your item, and then there you go, it's already in your inventory and you can select it. But there are some issues with crafting I can find. Some of the items can seem a bit grindy, especially your mission items. So like this one I've just selected, the arcfold, melting arcfold modulator. Now I have to have 4,000 of each, as I mentioned. Now when thumping, depending on where you are, you don't always get that much, even if you get 100%, which will double your resources. So if I would get, say I got 100% and I had, what, 100 filled, I only get 200 from that. So I'd have to, 200 copper, let's say. And that means I'd have to do that at least, what, 8 times, maybe more, to get, in fact, no, 20 times to do that more, or something. I know math, leave me alone. I'd have to do it a bunch of times to get the appropriate amount of materials, and that's only for one resource. And like, if I wanted to move on to get silicate, I have to move on to the next area, which will take time, because I don't have a mount yet, which is another issue. And I'd have to go and continue the thumping process. That takes time and time and time and energy, and it just gets real monotonous after a time, and you're just like, why am I doing this? So, unfortunately, that needs to be tweaked a bit. There are some things I get. You need to have a challenge to collect to make it feel worthwhile, but when the what worthwhile is taking forever and not taking the appropriate amount of time or a acceptable amount of time, it can just make the item feel undesirable and almost worthless. And I don't think that's really something you want to be putting into your game. You want to make sure your items are acceptable and they can be accessed with ease to a point. So I think that does need to be tweaked. So, but let's just move away from this and talk about the rest of the game. So, also in Firefall, there are, other than your jump jets and running, you have these gliders lying about at different outposts and such, which will allow you to, does what it says on tin, glide. And it's pretty fun to do, because you can see those transports in the sky. Oh dear! You slow down, you start to dive. Those transports in the sky, you can hop in one of those, and if you drop out of one, you hit such speeds that you can just keep on dolphining, go down and climb and down and climb. It's fun, but once that runs out, you have to leg it, really. Just get on your Shanks pony. Cockney rhyming slam. I'm British, if you didn't quite guess. You have to run around. It takes a while to get from one place to another. So, like, show the map real quick. So, let's see. Copacabana is here, and I want to get to, let's say, here. Transhub Command. Now, that's not far when you look at it, but, like, considering when this terrain is not all straight, sometimes you have to use your jump jets to go up, sometimes you have to drop down, sometimes you have to go through caves and jungles and forests and such, and it takes, again, a matter of time. If it takes too long, you're just gonna get bored and like, why am I still running? And it's not the kind of game where there is enough to keep you distracted, not distracted, but like occupied. Like, going back to an older video, link in the description and on screen, Cube World. When I looked at that, there were, yes, it's a big world, and it takes a while to get from place to place, but there are distractions and things you can do to alleviate the tension and boredom to get to where you're going, which is good. And this game doesn't have that. And again, let's jump back to the map. Like, the events that you have are very sparse and far between. So you have one mission here, another mission here, another mission here, another mission here, another, and they're not really close enough to get to and help with this transition in between cities and dungeons and caves and whatnot. Yes, you could go around and start taking out the indigenous population if you so desired, but you know, that only runs so far in a large game where pretty much what you do is shooting, and you're meant to be doing that to reach a certain goal, an end point, and items, and it's not, there's not enough. Are you still following me? Please go away. Look. Shut up. And that, again, tweaking be needed, but you know, beta is beta and things could change, and like what I'm showing you here could definitely change. Like, but there is also, you can get a mount, well, equivalent of a mount. You get a bike called the LGV. Now, you can get one in a mission, but you can only use it for that mission. And if you want your own LGV, you have to buy the parts from the lady I showed you earlier, that with the secondary weapons. But you'd have to get that part and then another part, like, and they're again spread out through the world. And the first part you have to get is about 75,000 crystite, which is your currency for buying and selling stuff. And I've been playing for about 20 hours, and if you look at my crystite count in just a sec, load up, don't attack me, B, I can hear you. Come on, load. Yeah, see that, 8,000 crystite, please go away. 8,000 crystite for about, I'd say, 20 hours of gameplay. And that is really not a lot. And I don't play it consistently, so I don't always get the daily rewards. And even then, from the daily rewards, I'd say I only get about, what, 200, 500 crystite from like a daily items crate. And that's like on the third day of playing, consecutive day of playing. It's not as... It doesn't feel that easy to get at all. And when you have other things to do with your life, say like if you're at school or you had a job, or again you're trying to make videos on YouTube, go check out our channel, you don't have a lot of time just to sit down on one game and continually just grind away and take your time with whatever you're doing. You need, like, you want there to be some form of shortcut in a way. And yes, you can say, oh, you can buy the credits and you can do it that way with microtransactions and such, but what if I don't want to do that? There needs to be a way where you can get that, say, through a mission that you need to go to here, to here, to here, and it's maybe slightly towards the middle of the game, or like early middle of the game, and it may be slightly longer than your other missions, but you know, you get this bike at the end, so it makes it worth it to travel from place to place. And there is not that, as far as I can see, in this game. And again, tweaks need to be made, but it's definitely disrupts the enjoyment for me somewhat, but not to a point where I'm saying, alright, that's it, I'm done, just delete and get rid of it. I still want to play this game. I still want to have fun and enjoy what Firefall has to offer. But you need to also make it worthwhile, and not a lot in what is in this game is making it worthwhile. So, but get enough of just bashing the game. The look of this game is very pretty when knocked up to the higher high quality. If you have a decent graphics card and system for your PC, if you knock it up to higher, it does look. It's a very pretty game, and sometimes it does clunk about here and there, but you know, it does need a bit of tweaking and fine-tuning. But you know, early stages, beta, things need to be done. Please go away. I'm trying to do a video and don't kill me. Cool. Thank you. Goodbye. So, what was I saying?
You a drink if our raider friends are actually
Yeah.
happy to see you.
Yeah, yep. What was I saying? So, yeah, the look of the game, and then you have the whole aesthetic of you're wearing a kind of futuristic looking kind of suit of armor. The fact that you can just do that, and I'm going to fly away before I kill myself and die. But you can fly around, you can jump to the ground, you can speed yourself up. And let me just show you something real quick. If I had, like, you saw the cooldowns menu before, like I said, this is all like projected. Like the way they set it up is like you're projecting it from your suit, and you're the only one who can see it and tweak it. And the fact that you can just, you know, tweak it on the fly and move through to different things. You can do your PvP, look at your map, and all sorts of things. It's really cool, and it does work. And
Nice shooting, boss.
and again,
I'll
when you get
transmit the
them,
data back to the Accord. Maybe
Yes,
next time we won't have to whip
trying to
out
do a
the
video and you're
heavy
distracting me, Mr. Oil Spill. And with a whole popping up of notifications and these things just popping up in it's not like it opens up a whole new window that stops you dead like I've seen in some MMOs where you have to just stop still and read. You can read it on the fly, which is cool, and I do like that about the game. You know, it's an interesting concept on how to do an MMO third-person shooter, or first-person shooter for that matter. It has its own quirks and its own themes that can carry it if they work on them and fine-tune them. So I would say for this game, as a final thing, just, yeah, give it a whirl. It's a free-to-play game, you don't have to pay anything to get in, so you have no reason not to treat yourself for a while, you know? Something new is not a bad thing, and there's a melding tornado over there, which is an event, like a rift in Rift. But yeah, let's just kind of wrap this up in this lonely, dingy, dark forest. But yes, grab it. Has its tweaks, has its quirks, has its bugs. Need to be fixed. Beta is beta, but pick it up, grab a few friends. MMOs are always best with friends because, you know, some of them do tend to get dry after a time and you start enjoying them a bit less. But get a few friends with you and you will have a great time. Well, a reasonable time until they tune up a bit. But, you know, stick with it. You don't know where it could go. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about this game. But, yeah, I've been Laurence Stevenson for Yellowface Motion. If you want to hear more of our stuff, check out our channel, like and subscribe and comment. Check us out on Tumblr. We do all sorts of things, not just video games. We do comics, movies, talk about those. And we have Facebook and Twitter if you want to keep up with us. And don't forget to check out our website. All the links will be in the description. And guys, we will see you next time for another video on whatever it may be that catches our attention. Who knows, it may be Firefall again when it has its major update. But guys, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time.